The Ranger and their companion is a classic trope for D&D. One of our favorite characters from D&D lore is Drizzt Do'Urden, the Drow Ranger, and his Panther companion Guinevere. Unfortunately, this character type and class, the Beastmaster Ranger, suffered in the 2014 D&D Player's Handbook. However, with both the 2024 version and Tales of the Valiant, we have seen some great improvements. So let's dive into this subclass and see how they stack up and which is the best. Hello, everybody. I'm Joe, and this is GM Toolbox, your go-to place to get all the tools that you need to enhance your TTRPG games. Before we get started today, if you like the content I'm bringing you, please take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It'll help me out to grow the channel and bring you more great content. The Beastmaster Ranger is one of my favorite subclasses, or at least it would have been had the Ranger and the subclass been designed better in the 2014 Player's Handbook. We have already done a video on the Ranger. If you haven't seen that, I suggest checking it out. It's very in-depth, and we go level by level for the Ranger in 2014 and 2024 D&D, as well as Tales of the Valiant. Today, I want to do the same for the Beastmaster, taking a look at what it was in 2014 and what it is now, not only in 2024 Player's Handbook, but in Tales of the Valiant as well with its Packmaster subclass. So let's dive right in. The Beastmaster, or Packmaster in TOV, is designed to be a ranger that fights alongside an animal companion, becoming a duo of blades, arrows, fangs, and claws. So let's see how our three systems attempt to accomplish this. Starting at level 3, we get our subclass and our first features for it in each system. At this point, all three versions of the Ranger would receive their animal companion. This looks different for each system, and we'll get into that in a moment. But Tales of the Valiant also gives us two other abilities, Lifelink and Packmaster calling spells. Let's have a look at these. The 2014 Ranger's Companion lets us choose a beast that is medium or smaller with a challenge rating of 1/4 or lower. So we would choose a beast from the monster manual or the back of the player's handbook, any kind of animal that has the beast tag. It then allows us to add our proficiency bonus to that beast's AC, attack rolls, and damage rolls, as well as to any saving throws and skills it is proficient in. Its hit points equal either what it has in its stat block or 4 times our ranger level, whichever is higher. So this all provides some level of scaling for that creature, though if you have played one, you know it probably is needed a bit more. As far as combat goes, you have to use your action to command it to attack or dash or disengage or to take the help action. If you don't do any of these things, it'll take the dodge action. When you get your extra attack at level 5, you can use one of your attacks to do this instead of your action, and then you can still use your second attack. The design here was a real issue, especially before level 5. Essentially, you had to choose between you attacking yourself with weapons or your beast attacking. And this is all before you have an extra attack. So the beast really does nothing for you until level 5 in combat. If you're a dual wielder, it's even worse because if you want your companion to attack, you have to give up both your main hand and offhand attack prior to level 5. Now, when Tasha's Cauldron of Everything came out, it made a big improvement in this area. First, it standardized the animal stat blocks, giving us 3 base companions, land, sea, and sky, each with a different movement, action, stats, and HP. It still uses your proficiency bonus for AC and damage, though the attack bonus is based off your spell attack instead. So this uses wisdom, which is likely around +2, maybe increasing to +3 later on, plus proficiency bonus. So at level 5, let's say a +5 to attack is average. It also made it so it costs you your bonus action to have the creature attack rather than your action, which is great. Plus, you could still give up one of your attacks for it to take a second attack. Now, this still means a dual wielder can never attack with their offhand if their companion attacks, but at least we're getting a little more damage out of our subclass. Still, it feels like we can't get that Drizzt dual wielder with the Panther kind of thing that we really would like to get. The 2024 Player's Handbook Ranger basically did the exact same thing as Tasha's with the 3 stat blocks for the companions and using your bonus action to command the animal instead. However, it did make one noticeable change. The AC and damage are now all based on your wisdom instead of your proficiency bonus. This means less scaling of your AC and damage, as your wisdom will not likely be a +6 at those endgame levels. I'm not a big fan of this change. Tales of the Valiant has its Beast Spirit ability, which took a similar route with the dedicated stat blocks for the animal companion, but they really only give you one main stat block with a few abilities that are swapped out depending on which version we choose. There are also 4 choices instead of 3. We get Agile, Aquatic, Avian, and Sturdy. Agile gets a climbing speed and advantage to saves against being knocked prone. Aquatic gets a swim speed and can hold its breath for 20 minutes. Avian gets a flying speed and it can carry a creature, but if that creature it's carrying is the same size as it or larger, its flying speed is reduced by one half. Now, sturdy form has a better AC, and even though it's a medium creature, it counts as large for determining its carrying capacity and the weight it can push, pull, or drag. Before we get any further into the stat block, however, I want to point out a huge change here. When it comes to combat, this ability states, in combat, the spirit shares your initiative count, but it takes its turn immediately after yours. It obeys your verbal commands, no action required by you. If you don't issue any commands, it takes the dodge action and uses its move to avoid danger. You don't use your action or bonus action to make your beast attack. It just does it on its own. This is what we should always have had. The whole point of this subclass is you're fighting alongside your beast, not your beast fights instead of you or vice versa. This right here makes this subclass just so much better. Regardless of anything else we will look at in this video, this is the best change we could have ever seen, and I think WotC had a big miss on their part by not doing this. Okay, let's dig into the stat block some more now. So one thing to note here is that the AC for these creatures is 11 plus your proficiency bonus or 13 plus your proficiency bonus for the sturdy form. The 2024 version was 13 plus your wisdom mod. So at level 3, you will probably have lower AC on the agile, aquatic, and avian forms, but over time the TOV version will end up with better AC for higher levels. The sturdy form, of course, will be even better in this area. Another thing to note is that the swim and climb speeds for the land and sea versions are faster in the 2024 Player's Handbook than in Tales of the Valiant, though the flying speed is the same. However, the walking speed in Tales of the Valiant is always 30 feet for all versions, where in D&D it changes based on if it's land, sea, or sky. For hit points, the Tales of the Valiant version has 5 plus 5 times your ranger level, and its hit dice are d10s. For the 2024 D&D version, it's also 5 plus 5 times your ranger level for land and sea, but sky is 4 plus 4 times your ranger level. Also, the hit dice for land and sea are d8s, and for sky it's d6. So overall, the TOV version is a little stronger here. Finally, when it comes to attacks, the TOV companion gets an attack bonus equal to 4 plus your proficiency bonus. So at level 3, this is a plus 6 to hit. The 2024 version that uses spell attack, which is based on wisdom, would likely be a plus 4 to hit, maybe a plus 5, but likely won't get beyond that. Even if it does, at best, we'd probably see a plus 6 towards the end game, where the TOV version would be at plus 10 to hit. Much better scaling here. The damage is also based on proficiency bonus, where it equals 1d8 plus 4 plus proficiency bonus. So again, at level 3, we're talking about 1d8 plus 6 as opposed to 1d8 plus 4, maybe 5, or 1d6 for C and 1d4 for Sky version. So the Tales of the Valiant version is clearly outdamaging the D&D version and scaling much, much better. You'll also notice that the Tales of the Valiant version has multi-attack, allowing the creature to attack a number of times equal to 1/2 your proficiency bonus. So again, wonderful scaling here, allowing 2 attacks at level 9, and by endgame, we're allowing 3 attacks. So that's a good look at our animal companions. But don't forget, the Tales of the Valiant Ranger still has more abilities at level 3. First, it has lifelink, and this ability basically lets you use your reaction when your beast takes damage to absorb some of that damage yourself. It can be any amount you want as long as you're within 30 feet of your beast companion, and any damage you take in this way won't benefit from resistances or immunities that you might have. But it's a great way to keep your beast up if it takes a big hit, and it shows that bond between you and your companion. You can do this a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus per long rest. Next, you get Packmaster calling spells. If you recall from our Ranger video, where we also covered the Hunter subclass, they too got calling spells. So this seems to be a feature all future Ranger subclasses will get. The spells here are Animal Friendship, Wild Sense, which is TOV's version of Beast Sense, Spirit Guardians, Polymorph, and Dominate. Wild Sense, like Beast Sense, lets you hear and see through your beast companion's senses, but the TOV version is not a ritual and it does not require concentration. Dominate is another one of those spells that got rolled up in TOV. In our Ranger video, the Hunter got Hold, which was a revamped version of Hold Person and Hold Monster rolled up and basically based off the creature size. Dominate does the same thing. There is Dominate and Greater Dominate. Dominate does exactly what Dominate Beast, Dominate Monster, and Dominate Person do, but it works on all creature types that are size medium or smaller. These modified versions of spells are really nice and a great little bump to power and versatility that we see in Tales of the Valiant overall. Next up, at level 7, we see the 2014 and 2024 Ranger get Exceptional Training, where the Tales of the Valiant Ranger gets Shared Mark. Exceptional training has changed a little from 2014 to 2024, so let's take a look. The 2014 version said that if you don't attack with your companion, you can use a bonus action to have it dash, disengage, or help on its turn. It also makes attacks become magical for the purpose of overcoming resistance to immunity to non magical attacks and damage with your beast. The second part of this is great. We need these attacks to bypass damage resistance, but the first part is so limiting. So now I am giving up attacks for a dash or disengage. The help action is the most likely thing I would use it for, so at least I get advantage on one attack, but it just feels boring to me. Why do I even have a companion? Just give me advantage once per turn. Since the 2024 version fixed the issue with having to use our action to command our beast to attack, they've passed that on here. So now when we use our bonus action to command our beast to attack, our beast can also take the dash, disengage, dodge, or help action as its bonus action. Notice they added dodge here, and the companion can attack and do one of these. Much better design, especially with the help action, as it's the option I really like to use here. TOV doesn't really have an option for animal companions to have bonus actions, which may have been a miss on their part, but as we go through this subclass, I think you're going to find out that we make up for it in a lot of other ways. Last, the 2024 version also has a way of overcoming resistance to non-magical attacks, but instead of making the creature's attacks magical, it lets you choose to use force damage instead of slashing, piercing, or bludgeoning. Not sure how big a difference this makes compared to the other way of doing it, but it works fine nonetheless. So in Tales of the Valiant, we have the shared mark ability. This does two things. First, like the 2014 version, your companion's attacks are magical for the purpose of overcoming resistance and immunity. Second, your companion also benefits from your Mystic Mark. If you recall from the Ranger video, Mystic Mark is TOV's version of Hunter's Mark, but it's a class ability, not a spell, and it scales throughout the leveling process. So now your companion gets that extra D6 or D8 or D10 of damage with its attacks. I love this. It really builds on that companionship with your beast and just starts to really build the feel we're looking for. At a level 11, both 2014 and 2024 D&D get Beastal Fury, though there are differences between those two, and Tales of the Valiant gets Soulbound. Beastal Fury lets your companion attack twice instead of once. Don't forget that for TOV, this is built right into the stat block. They can attack a number of times equal to 1/2 their proficiency bonus rounded down. So they got their second attack back at level 9, and will get a third attack at level 17. Additionally, the 2024 Ranger also gets to add their Hunter's Mark damage to their companion's attacks. This is the ability TOV got at level 7. For the 2024 Ranger, this is a D6 of damage until level 20, where it jumps to a D10. TOV will be at D8 by 13th level and D10 by 17th level. So this is a good ability, but it's behind the curve compared to its TOV counterpart. Tales of the Valiant's Soulbound ability lets you choose to allow spells that affect you to also affect your animal companion. So any buffs done to you will also affect it, such as a Cleric's Bless. Additionally, your creature can cast your spells for you if you want, similar to the way a Wizard's Familiar works. This is all kind of similar to D&D's level 15 ability, Share Spell, but improved, and I'm really loving this, especially getting it at level 11. What we're starting to see here is that Tales of the Valiant is getting better versions of the abilities from D&D and getting them sooner. Finally, at level 15, we see both versions of D&D getting Share Spell, while TOV gets a new ability called Undying Friendship. Share Spell states that when you cast a spell that targets yourself, you can also affect your beast companion with it if the beast is within 30 feet of you. They word it slightly different in the two versions, but it does the same thing. Notice here that it's only when you cast a spell that targets yourself. The TOV version we got at level 11, Soulbound, stated that when you are targeted by a spell. So if anyone casts a spell that targets you, you can choose to have it affect your companion. So though this level 15 ability is good, we get 4 levels sooner in Tales of the Valiant, and it's much better on the TOV side. Now, Tales of the Valiant has this new ability called Undying Friendship. What this does is if you are reduced to 0 hit points or killed outright, your beast companion can sacrifice itself to save you. You end up with a number of hit points equal to what the beast companion had when it sacrificed itself to save you. Of course, its body is destroyed in the process, and you'll have to perform a ritual to restore it later, but this ability is so awesome. Again, this is showing that bond with your beast. The two of you are one. Earlier, we got an ability to take damage for our beast. Now it gets to return the favor and sacrifice itself for you. This is a fantastic ability to cap off the Packmaster Ranger. So that's it for the Beastmaster Packmaster Rangers. 2014 was in need of an overhaul, and though Tasha's came in with a fix to the companion, it still needed more. The 2024 version did a lot to improve it, but they also nerfed some aspects of what we got in Tasha's, and the Ranger class still kind of suffers a bit in the 2024 version of D&D. Overall, it is an improvement from 2014, but that was a pretty low bar. Tales of the Valiant, I feel, just blows it out of the water here. They did a fantastic job in the Packmaster, and I really want to play this. I do wish we had some bonus actions for the companions, but the fact that I don't have to use an action or a bonus action for the beast to attack was such a massive change in the right direction, I really can't be upset. Our companions have a better chance to hit and do more damage than our D&D counterparts, and the abilities at each level are just better. Some are similar, but we get them sooner in Tales of the Valiant, and they're vastly improved. We also see that bond between the companion and the ranger much more, and their ability to save each other and share damage and spells. This may be one of the best redesigns I've seen in Tales of the Valiant. So tell me your thoughts on the Packmaster and Beastmaster. How do you feel about them? Do you think D&D did enough to improve the Beastmaster? How do you think the Packmaster stacks up against the D&D Beastmaster? Let me know in the comments. I hope you all found this video useful and informative. I'm really looking forward to bringing you more in this series of D&D versus TOV comparison videos. That's all we have for today though, so thank you for coming on this journey with me, and I'll see you next time.